Well, I got my Sebring jacked up again. I'm going to check the timing anyway, the timing belt, the valve timing. You know, it almost sounds like the valve timing's off or something's clacking around, and either there's low oil pressure to the upper end, or the valves are tapping the pistons or something. I don't freaking know, man. I'm just miffed. So I disconnect the ground, and I did put a timing belt in it, but I used it at least a couple hundred miles. Then I took off that cover, and you know, actually, to tell you the truth, I'm very careful the way I do stuff. When I put this timing belt on, I use all the torques. It's got the right exact tension on here. It's got new pulleys. It's got a new tensioner, new idler, new belt, new water pump, the whole thing. Everything's torqued down. It's got Loctite blue. The only thing I'm thinking of is if it jumped, is if a piece of one of these covers fell in here, because these covers are chewed up. I don't know if that seems to be a remote possibility, but you could see the belt is on tight. I ran it after I installed this, just to give you, like, you know, the detail on it is, let me use the light here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, God. Right there. You could see, not too bright like that. You can see the cam seal. There's no leaks. I ran it with the cover off to see that. I ran it. There's no valve cover leak anymore. Nothing. You know where it could be leaking from is the oil filter housing. It could be leaking from there. It's right around that area. I forgot about that. I don't know. I don't know. This thing's got, I don't know, man. I just want to figure out what the hell's wrong with it first before I freaking go trying to take the engine out. But since I was at the car show Saturday, I am kind of like, my head is more in gear now for this kind of stuff. It's hard to flip your gears in your head from one subject to another. But since I was at the car show Saturday, upload 18 videos on that thing. It was just for your enjoyment and shit. I might go every month to that thing and get some kind of stuff anyway. But so I took that cover off. Now I actually have you could see it. I'll have to take this power steering off of there, right, and probably to just disconnect the fuel line. If you could see back there, right back there, I got a notch cutting my cover. You can actually see into the gear. See the gear back there? And I'll be able to, without taking off that upper timing, the one that's a bitch, I can see if the marks are lined up. I'll definitely be able to see if this one's lined up. You can see the white right there. So, anyway, I have to take these off. And actually, I bought a lot of these bullshit special tools for auto body shop stuff. And you can see, like, you can see that the camera's picking it up pretty good. You can see this. Well, shit, I shouldn't have pulled that out all the way, but anyway, yeah. Just pull this out. Well, these pull out by just pulling this, and this one's probably in there pretty good. Of course, it's the last one. Here it is. You see how that tool works? I mean, it should just pulled right out, but yeah, you put it in here like that. It's better than using a screwdriver. It's actually the right tool for it, man. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. Fuck yeah. So this comes out. Put these in a plastic bag. Now, you know what I really should do on this bullshit harmonic balancer? I should mark the timing mark on here and with the pan, so I know where top dead center is, even though it's marked on the pulley. But you know how these jerks are, man. They're fucking assholes that put, well, excuse me, but they are. Like, in other words, well, let me just point to it like this. If I made a mark right here on the pulley, and I had a mark right here on the pan, without freaking doing anything, I could just take this, I wouldn't even have to take this cover off. I can line this thing up. I wouldn't have to take this pulley off. I can line this mark up with that, and you know, after I put it on top dead center, I make the marks on this, and I could see what's going on up here without doing a damn thing to check my timing. Now, I made that notch in this thing before, back here in the upper one, but I should go further than that. But we're going to see, because I'll tell you the truth. I did the timing belt. I put at least 200 miles on this thing. I ran it. I checked it. I double checked the tensioner, everything. You know, it's got about that much, like that much. The tensioner sticks out and it goes that far when the belt wears down, and so it's got plenty of tension. It was the exact right amount. Like, I can actually install the little pin in the tensioner. It was tension perfect. Everything was torqued on there perfect. I ran it with the cover off, make sure nothing was leaking. The belt wasn't loose. I ran it a couple hundred miles. I checked it with the cover off, make sure everything was good. The only thing I did was I did a valve cover gasket. Then I started it up. I ran it for about 3-4 minutes. It was perfectly quiet. So the next day I go jumping it the next night. Clack, 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 clack. It just did it immediately. As soon as I started up, it was making all kinds of noise. But it did run for about, I did try it for 3 or 4 minutes after I did the valve cover gasket. No noise. But previously, it was having a problem for about 4 minutes. It would make this clacking noise and it went away. So I'm either wondering, something stuck in the fuel pump? I mean, in the oil pump? Where it's not getting pressure to the up to the upper end? I don't know, man, but I'm checking this belt, even though I don't think it's wrong. But then I started thinking, I says, well, maybe a piece of plastic from the cover, I noticed they're chewed up, came off, and I did something and made it jump. Well, I don't know, man. But you know what? It's the only way you freaking know is you got to take the shit apart. But, you know, I think in the future, like I said, I got that one notch. I'm going to make a mark on here and a mark on here, so I can you know, I'll paint it on here real good or something with chemically clean and real strong paint. Maybe a slight little indentation in where I can check this timing without fucking taking this whole shit apart. Well, I'm turning over the engine with the breaker bar and I don't hear nothing hitting nothing, so that's a good sign. So, trying to get that mark lined up with that. Then we'll take it off with the impact. It's a 22 millimeter socket, and you want to use an impact socket on it. These guys are idiots, man. Make everything difficult, you know. There ain't much room to, but you know what? There's cars out there even worse to work on this. And one of the reasons that's giving me incentive to keep this car going is a thing called Google Cars. How would you like not to be able to drive your car? Fuck that. I'll be driving this thing on vegetable oil if I have to or something. And you definitely need an impact to get this bullshit thing off, man. It's not on there loose. I mean, it's otherwise, even at 120 pounds in the impact, it don't come off. It's on there pretty good. Ooh, you know what? That mark looks off. That's on. The mark is off. The mark is off. Why the hell did it do that? I might have just been tapping my valves. I wonder if I did any damage. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, now why the hell did that happen? I'm thinking is, I was suspecting this. I'm thinking a piece of plastic off of this chewed up cover got jammed in there and made a jump. It was doing it, but it was weird that, let me double check this shit. Something's freaking going on here, because maybe I want to get some different covers for this bullshit thing. Wow. That's freaking off, man. You could see, I don't know if you could see, well, let me point to the camera. You see the white mark, and you see the thing off to the right? That's supposed to be lined up. But this belt wasn't loose. But you know, it sounded like the valves were just touching the freaking pistons. But you know, it could be damaged, man. I don't know. So either way, maybe I do have to pull the motor. But then, why the hell did that jump? Definitely wasn't loose. It was like I started it up and just did it all of a sudden. Now, you know what I'm thinking? Well, first off, I'm going to show you that the tensioner, see the tensioner right there? That little plunger thing? That's correct. There's nothing wrong there. I mean, you can tell even by eye, it's got the right distance that that could stick out twice as far as this belt starts to wear. It's definitely not loose. You know what I think happened? This cover. Either this cover, you see, it's been chewed up forever, man. It's always been like this. And I don't know, from gazillion, I don't know when, you know, before I even had the car, it's been chewed up like this. And it also had, this shit was chewed up on the end here. I think a piece of this hard plastic got caught up inside that belt and caused it to jump. Because there's nothing wrong with the way this is installed at all. Nothing. And, you know, the only thing I had off when I did the rear valve cover was I loosened up the other cover. And, say a piece of this plastic just fell off or some shit. And when I first started the car, for a few minutes nothing happened. But then, it was laying in there lodged someplace the second time I started it up, and then it jumped. Now the question is everything okay? Did the valves hit the pistons that hard or not? I mean, I can hear it clacking around, but like when I turn it over by hand, I don't hear nothing, so maybe it just was really lightly tapping and it didn't do nothing. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, to be continued. So, and I'm going to look underneath here how you pull this engine out anyway. I mean, I had just about every freaking thing on this car apart as it is. I mean, the radiator, the freaking starter, the lower cross member, the other motor mount, all the shit on the up, like the water crap on it. I had so much shit apart on this car anyway, so, you know. Anyway, we'll find out. To be continued. So it jumped. And actually, that is a jump of how many teeth? But you know what's weird? Well, I didn't really run the car. I was just idling it. That jumped 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 teeth. That's stretching it. If you jump 1 or 2, you're not going to hurt nothing. Now, I remember one time it jumped 1 when I had about 80,000 miles on the belt, and it was backfiring because the distributor crapped out. And it jumped 1 tooth, and it just wouldn't run right, and I couldn't figure out what it was. It was 1 tooth. But this jumped 1, well, maybe 3. 3 teeth. No, it's 3 teeth. 3 teeth. 3 teeth. You know what? Might be alright. 3 teeth. 1. Yeah, so I go over 1, 2, 3, and it'll be right on there. 3 teeth. Maybe I'll be alright. I don't know. Yeah, I'll find out where this oil leak is because... anyway, I got some more energy because when I went to the car show, that fired me up. Otherwise, I just get out of the mood of doing this shit. If I go to the car show, I'm like, hey man, I want to work on this shit. I'm okay. So that was, I don't know. I don't really want to say that's my fuck up. It's just that I'm not. I should order this shit, these things again. Or grind anything off of here that's loose. You know, I got a feeling it was this one, and it won't give me a problem this time. I'll bet you it was this shit right here. I bet you there was something on here that was cracked off and fell in there. Yeah, like something. Yeah. You know what I need to do is just grind this shit off and just leave it in there with 2 bolts. This shit is cheap, man. Fucking plastic. Why the hell, you know, that's Japan for you. Make things out of metal, goddammit. Anyway, so jump 3 teeth and turning it over by hand. I don't hear no noise, but it was enough that I was hearing clacking. And you know, I was starting to suspect this, but I just couldn't figure out why the hell it was doing that. But you know, I was suspecting it was because it was idling high, like the timing was advanced. But it didn't throw a code. Because I remember when it was jump 1 tooth at one time years ago, it was throwing codes left and right. It was doing all kinds of weird shit. But I didn't really run it. I was just idling it. But I did idle it about 20 minutes. Fuck. I hope I didn't mess nothing up. I'll find out. So that's the problem. So still might need an engine because it might be fucked up now. But that's what sucks about these belts, because if you just get, you know, a stick that jams up in there that hits your serpentine belt, or your AC freaking unit seizes up, or your alternator seizes up, that shit goes. You know? That's what sucks about these bullshit things. It should be a Chevy 6-cylinder with gear drive. You know what this stock was, gear drive? Now, sorry I've been wordy on this thing, but that's just how it is, you know? Yeah, I'm thinking is when I put this cover back on, here, this one, maybe a piece of some shit fell into here, that went into here, that, I don't know, got jammed up down, just caused it to jump. Because it could jump pretty easy down there if there's a piece of crap in there. And actually, this plunger, like, say for instance the belt, something gets stuck in there, this plunger can move a lot. See, that's still that's tight, that's installed like new. So, I don't know. 3 teeth, it might be alright. A 3-tooth jump, usually 1 or 2 teeth is always fine. 3, it might be. We'll find out.